Oh, God. It's time. It's time for more NFL football. My God, this is my favorite time of the year. Also, when it comes near Christmas, too. It's even better. Anyway, I'm going to be doing what I did last year. This video is going to have two parts. First part, I'm going to go into detail about my Philadelphia Eagles here and what I think they're going to do this season, my expectations, my wants, my needs, all that shit that a typical fan's going to do here. And I'm going to end the video here today with a brief rundown of the teams who I think are going to make the playoffs, my predictions for the AFC, NFC, how I have the playoffs breaking down, and who I have going to and winning the Super Bowl. You guys might be very surprised to hear who I think is going to win the Super Bowl. Last year I had the Texans and Ravens in the AFC Championship, and I had the Niners and Green Bay in the NFC Championship. I had the Texans playing the Niners, with the Niners going on to win the Super Bowl. I came very close to getting that prediction correct of the Niners winning the Super Bowl if they would have called better goal line plays in that final minute of the game, but that's a story for another time. Anyways, let's see how my predictions pan out this year. That'll be in the second half of the video, but let's get to business here. Got some notes taken here. My God, I take this shit so seriously. When do I ever take notes for a video I make for you guys? Sometimes, but mostly never. Anyway, the Philadelphia Eagles, coming off probably oh boy, it's up there. Probably the worst season I've ever seen this team play. I actually had expectations for this team last year. Expectations of making the playoffs. Expectations of going far. Instead, I got a team that completely shit the bed and won 4 games the entire year, of which they could have lost all 4 games. They should have lost all 4 games. 3 of them were 1-point victories that had to be pulled out in the final drive of the game. I mean, this team was just awful. Just utterly awful. There's nothing you could point to aside from running backs doing good, but even then, they had fumbleitis, and it was just a terrible year. I just want to just wipe it out of my mind. And we're taking steps to that because we brought in a new coach. We meaning the ownership, and I didn't have anything to say in that. But I got to tell you, and I went on record last year saying I wanted Gus Bradley to be the coach of this team. Gus Bradley went on to be the coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so if I have to see that team get success with him at coach, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Instead, we got Chip Kelly, renowned as the go-to coach to get because he has this high-octane offense that he runs in Oregon, and they put up all these points, and he lost like 1 time ever and all this other shit. And anyways, I know it's more than 1 loss he had. But anyway, I've always been a critic of college coaches coming right into the NFL, simply because the track record of that is a failure. You very, very, very seldomly see a coach come out of college, plop down the NFL, and have success. Now you might be saying, well, it worked for Jimmy Johnson coming out of the University of Miami and going right to the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, what coach wouldn't have success after the Great Train Robbery? If you don't know what the Great Train Robbery is, Google it. It was the trade between the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings, where the Cowboys acquired an immense amount of picks for one Herschel Walker that the dumbass Vikings were willing to give up, and basically handed 3 Super Bowl titles to the Dallas Cowboys. Again, any coach would have had success with that. You get that much talent thrown, but then again, Jimmy Johnson was in part responsible for picking guys like Emmitt Smith and all the other all-pros and Pro Bowlers they got out of those picks from Minnesota. Now, Chip Kelly coming to this team. I mean, I'm optimistic because it's not Andy Reid, and I was to the point that I just couldn't even stand the sight of Andy Reid on the sideline. I just wanted him gone. I was one of those people, I just wanted him gone. It was a few years too late that they moved him off this team. But his time to go had long passed on this team. The players clearly didn't respect him. They clearly weren't trying. Look at that Week 17 game against New York last year. Tell me you think those players were trying. Guys like Nnamdi Asomugha had to be benched. Starters, when your starting secondary guys have to be benched because they're just jogging through routes. There was no respect playing for the Eagles last year. And it was just sad. It was just sad. Just the legacy and honor that this team had and just the records they had under the Andy Reid regime. It's just, what happened? Anyways, all that's gone. Chip Kelly's here. And I see Chip Kelly as a guy who really wants a lot of power on this team, and I can pick that up mainly from his choices for offensive and defensive coordinator, and Billy Davis on the defense as defensive coordinator, and Pat Shurmur as offensive coordinator. These are two guys that don't come with much of any reputation. I mean, this isn't like taking a Belichick who, had a Super Bowl ring under the Giants and, going on to the Browns and then going on to the Patriots. Like, someone like that has an ounce of respect in the league. These guys, what do they do? They're assistant coaches on Cleveland? Who cares? And no disrespect, Cleveland. But anyway, I see this as a power move on Chip Kelly's part, bringing in guys that don't command a lot of respect, basically to just take control. I think he really wants to take control of the games as far as offensive and defensive calls, even though he's much more of an offensive-minded coach. At least that's what I hear from his college days, or his days as coaching in college, I should say. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. It's not necessarily a bad thing that he wants to be, maniacal with calling the plays. Because sometimes you need that on a team. You need the proverbial, the buck stops here and he is who I stop at, or he is where you stop at. Anyway, I'm optimistic, but at the same time I'm pessimistic as well, because I honestly don't see this guy translating to much of a success. Granted, I will be the first to say, oh my God, I can't believe I was wrong. This guy took us to heights I never thought was possible for this team and won Super Bowls and all this other shit. I will be the first to come out and say I was wrong. But honestly, in my heart of hearts, in my understanding of football, I don't see guys that were under a regime like Andy Reid for so many of year after year, just taking a new offensive style format that's supposed to be so revolutionary and something we've never seen before in the NFL. Just all of a sudden, just pick it up and accept it just like that. Because if they try it out and it keeps failing, the players are going to get disgruntled about it and the players are going to fight out against it and they're not going to go along with the coach. Now, it's different in college because these are young, impressionable teenage minds that they're molding that never had any formal experience outside of high school playing the game of football, other than playing their neighborhood or whatever. But anyways, I'm very, very, very skeptical about the Chip Kelly style of system and running 2-point conversions and fake punts all the time and shit like that. This is the NFL. I really don't see that shit flying on a consistent basis, but who knows? Maybe he is the great innovator and he's going to prove people like me wrong and say, see, I told you so. I'm the fucking man. Bow. And I'll gladly bow. And I'll shine his shoes, but he's got to win me a Super Bowl first. Anyway, as for the Eagles this year, got our offensive line back. I mean, that's the one thing that was just crippling this team last year. Nick Foles and Mike Vick didn't stand a shot of getting any success on this team because they just could not get time to get shit done. I mean, the complete pieces of dung they brought in to fill for Jason Peters, Jason Kelsey, who else got injured on their line list? Anyways, it was just such a fucking mess last year. And now we got all those guys back. We got a new right tackle, Lane Johnson, a big guy that's supposed to be the next biggest thing in the NFL for offensive tackles. He's playing right tackle, which I'm a little concerned with because keeping him at right tackle as the blindside guard for a left-handed quarterback, of which we have in Michael Vick as our starting quarterback this year, Lane Johnson better be ready to fucking go. He better be brick walling motherfuckers at the line of scrimmage. because Vic needs time. As we know, Vic likes to hold on to the ball a bit too long in some cases and ends up being the Philadelphia turnover machine that we've all seen, of which we saw in the preseason as well in that Week 3 game against Jacksonville, where he threw off his back foot into the secondary to get rid of the ball, and secondary guys just like, yoink, I'll take that. That looked like the Michael Vick that just goes through the motions, and that kind of scares me because I don't want that Philadelphia turnover machine back, but I'm afraid we might just get that. But hopefully with a stacked offensive line again, we're not going to see as many turnovers out of him, and hopefully it gives him some time because Michael Vick isn't changing the way he plays. And that's the common criticism you always get from Michael Vick. The guy's got to change his style of play. The guy's got to get rid of the ball quicker. The guy's got to slide feet first. He can't try and, break the linebacker's ankles and run around for an extra 12 yards. People, if Michael Vick slides, if Michael Vick throws the ball quicker, you're getting Michael Vick at 85%. You need Michael Vick at 100%. To win a lot of football games. If you want success for this team, you got to have that Michael Vick at 100%. The guy sliding before he gets the first down instead of trying, juke for an extra 10 or 15 yards. That's the Michael Vick that's the game breaker that wins games. And I'm sorry, I'm just with Michael Vick and him not wanting to change his ways because that's his most effective style of game. It's the guy that doesn't want to run out of bounds. It's the guy that doesn't want to slide. But with that being said, I think it's rather coincidental that the position is called quarterback because I don't see him lasting more than a quarter of the season. He's going to get hurt by Week 5, mark my words. He'll make it through Week 4 at the most. I mean, who are we kidding? He's a year older. He has a year more of injuries stacked on him. The guy is he's just wrecked. He's just a wrecked quarterback. I would love to see that Michael Vick of 3 years ago that was fighting for a contract extension. But who are we kidding? Is he the best choice to start as quarterback on this team right now? Abso-fucking-lutely. Do you think he's going to last a full season? Absolutely fucking not. There's no way. So, my faith in the quarterback position is slim to none. Nick Foles is a nice replacement. Smart kid. It looks like he makes good decisions. Very seldom do you see him throwing deep, so the deep threat game and having a speed wide receiver like Deshaun Jackson is just completely taken out of the game because of that. So, I don't know. It's nice that they have a lot of tight ends this year, and rumor has it Chip Kelly's been even running 4 tight end formations in practice this year. So that'd be interesting to see. I would love to see some 4 tight end formations because you can only man up so many linebackers on them, and one guy's going to get mismatched by a completely underweight corner that's going to have to come up and bite for coverage and hopefully get muscled off the line, and you keep getting 5-6 yards off that mismatch. So who knows? It's just a year of uncertainty, a year of minimal expectations because, let's face it, things can't get worse than last year. I hope. So, Philadelphia, everyone calm down out there. Don't expect this team to go to a Super Bowl this year. Don't even expect this team to go to the playoffs. In fact, I don't even have the Eagles going to the playoffs this year. I have them maxed out at 7 wins. More than likely, they're going to get 6 wins this year. They're not going to be a complete joke that gets bitch-slapped by every team in the NFC East like they did last year. I know they beat the Giants once. I think that's the only time that's the only game they won the NFC East last year. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Just to get destroyed by the division like that. At least they won on Brian Dawkins night. Sunday Night Football, nonetheless. So, that was good to see that. That was about the highlight of the season last year. And it came at, week 3, 4? Anyways. Complete garbage last year. Expect this team to give up a lot of points. You have starting safeties like Nate Allen and Cole Anderson. I think Colt's going to be the safeties are just such a collection of shit this year. It doesn't even matter who they pick as their starting safeties. Nate Allen had to get benched in week 3, the preseason, when Blackman got that touchdown in Jacksonville. It was like, where's the coverage? Oh, there's no one nearby. Okay. I like what Chip Kelly did there because he took Nate Allen out of the game. And on the next defensive series, he put in a 5th-round green-as-grass rookie to play the game. It's great because it sends the message to the team. It's like, look, all you guys are expendable, for the most part. All you guys are expendable. I'll put a 5th-round rookie draft pick in the game if you're going to blow coverage and just walk through routes. I love that. That's a coach that hopefully will command respect from his team, and hopefully the team understands that this guy ain't fucking around. This guy isn't going to be like Andy Reid at the end of press conferences, taking responsibility for everyone's actions. He's going to hold players accountable for their actions. I love that. That's my type of guy. So, anyways, Chip Kelly, I'm going to be bitter as fuck if Gus Bradley does better than you in Jacksonville, because that's the guy I wanted here. Anyways, I'm holding out hope for you, Chip. I'm holding out hope. Hopefully you're the great white hope here. Whatever that's supposed to mean. Anyway. It just sucks going into this season too, and just the last note I'm gonna make about this team, because so many injuries in OTAs and preseason this year. Losing 2 wide receivers, an outside linebacker, a defensive end. Lost Aurelius Ben and Jeremy Maclin, both the ACL tears. Jason Phillips is out, and Philip Hunt's out, and it's like you just get such a monkey wrench thrown into the system where you can't even go into the season without having solid players. Like Jeremy Maclin is supposed to be your go-to wide receiver. I know Deshaun Jackson is more of the go-to guy because he's that speed guy that creates coverage and spreads a defense. But I see Jeremy Maclin as much more dimensional threat to the on the Eagles than just someone who's a one-trick pony and speed and Deshaun Jackson, even though he does that one trick very well. It just sucks going into the season knowing that, we could have had so much better of a chance. I mean, we're so weak as linebacker as it is, and you lose an outside linebacker to an ACL tear before the first preseason game even starts. It's just such a kick in the nuts, and just seeing Jeremy Maclin go down to an ACL tear as well, it's like he's probably never going to be the same again. It's just such a fucking pisser. We have to come off that piss poor season last year and just come into complete shit before preseason even starts. Anyways, enough pissing and moaning about the Eagles. Again, 6-win team, possibly 7. Look for them to at least beat every NFC East team at least once. I mean, I at least see that as being a positive compared to just getting slapped around by the NFC East last year. But let's go on, and one final note. I'm going to be doing a live show for you guys. The first game, that Monday night game, home opener for the Redskins on Monday Night Football. I'm going to do a live show here for you guys. Monday Night Football. I think it's like September 8th or 9th. Anyways, if you guys want to watch me just have a heart attack live on camera, go ahead and feel free to tune in. I'll put another video promoting it that Monday night when I go live. So you're watching me and New Dog flip our shit. By the way, no dogs in these videos anymore. Crixus now lives with Girlfiend's parents, for those of you that may ask. I think I said that earlier in the video. Might not have. Crixus lives with Girlfiend's parents. New Dog lives here. I know last year I had Crixus in all these football videos. This year I'm not doing that. Anyways, sue me. I'll be doing these videos from upstairs. So if you want to come here, well, not here, downstairs. This is upstairs. Downstairs on my first floor. I'm going to be in my living room losing my fucking mind on Monday, September 8th, 9th, whatever day of the week it is. Anyway, it should be good. Now, playoffs. Who is making the playoffs in the NFL? Last year, some of my predictions sucked. Some of my predictions were dead on. My predictions near the end of the year, once the season was over, I only picked one game wrong against the spread. I got a second game wrong when I said Seattle would beat Atlanta. They still covered in that game, so technically the only game I got wrong was picking Minnesota over Green Bay. But if I knew their starting quarterback wasn't going to be playing for Minnesota, I would sure as hell not even gave them a fourth up. Anyways, I'm going to start with the AFC. This is the playoff picture I see for the AFC. For the AFC North, I see the division winner being the Cincinnati Bengals, not the Baltimore Ravens. What do you think of that? I see the Baltimore Ravens being the wild card team coming out of the NFC North. Excuse me, AFC North. I know I'm going to flip-flop and get tongue twisted here. AFC East. Division winner, who else? New England Patriots. Sure is fucking going to be the Jets. My God. I still can't believe to this day that they're going to start Geno Smith on week 1 for the Jets. That is going to ruin his career. He has a chance of being a solid starting quarterback in this league, but he's just not ready to play. He's just flat out not ready to play in the big leagues yet. and they're going to throw him in on that week 1 game, and he is going to get his career ruined. And that's a damn shame. But you know what? It's the Jets, so fuck them. Anyway, New England Patriots winning the AFC East. I also have a wild card coming out of the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills will not be that team. It will be the Miami Dolphins. That's right, we have a new contender in the playoffs this year. It's the Miami Dolphins. How about those fish? Are dolphins a fish or a mammal? Anyway, who cares? Miami Dolphins. Look for them to represent in the playoffs again. How long has it been? Since like 2001 when they lost to the Ravens in the first round. Anyway, AFC South, I have the Houston Texans winning. That's pretty much a safe bet. Do I have anyone else in the AFC South making the playoffs? Nope. Obviously not, because we already know the 2 wildcard teams are the Ravens and the Dolphins, for those of you playing along. So you know there's only one team coming out of the AFC West, which is that's right, Denver Broncos. So there you go. I have the 2 teams with the bye coming into the playoffs, being the Houston Texans and the Denver Broncos. Actually, I'll break down the playoffs here, and then we'll go into who I have in the Super Bowl. In the wild card round, New England doesn't have a bye, but I have them playing the Miami Dolphins in the wild card round. I also have them beating the Dolphins in the wild card round. Cincinnati will be playing the Baltimore Ravens in the wild card round. And the defending Super Bowl champions Baltimore Ravens will lose to the Bengals in the wild card round. In the divisional rounds, we have the Texans playing the Patriots. Oh boy, should be a good matchup. But you know what? Tom Brady is old news. Texans are winning over the Patriots. Broncos playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh, Peyton Manning. Remember what you did in the playoffs last year against the Baltimore Ravens. You had the bye. You went in, played Baltimore at Denver nonetheless. How did you do? Peyton Manning had to wear a glove that day and supposedly screwed up his game a little bit. Same thing's not going to happen. The Broncos are winning. The Broncos over the Bungles. So, that brings us to a conference championship of the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans. The Planet Houston Texans. Ladies and gentlemen, going to the Super Bowl for the American Football Conference is a team from the great state of Colorado, the Denver Broncos. Peyton Manning back in the Super Bowl. Are you excited? No? All right. NFC North. I have the Green Bay Packers winning the division. NFC East. It's not the Eagles. And it pains me to do this, and you guys might be fucking shocked to hear this. I have the NFC East champion. It's not the New York Giants. So, it's between the Cowboys and the Washington Redskins. I would pick the Washington Redskins if I didn't hate Shanahan, and if I didn't think Shanahan is a terrible compliment to RG3's gameplay. Yes, they won their division last year, but I'm sorry. Dallas is winning the NFC East this year. I'm sorry, I die a little inside every time I say any ounce of success for the Dallas Cowboys. I die a little inside. All right. So, with no wild cards picked yet, that means the 2 wild cards are going to come out of the South and West conferences, or maybe 2 will come out of both. Who knows? Let's find out. The NFC South, I have the Atlanta Falcons winning the division. And, do I have a wild card here? Let me check. No. no. New Orleans Saints, I do. Yes, New Orleans Saints are going to begin in the playoffs with a wild card spot. And that's it. So, the other wild card is in the NFC West. Who wins the division? San Francisco 49ers do. No doubt about it. And we have another new entry into the 2013 NFL playoffs. The wild card team, and this may shock some of you guys, but I see the Rams. I see the Rams being the wild card that comes out of the NFC West. What do you think about that? How do you like them apples? The byes. I have the Dallas Cowboys having the bye. Not. I have the Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers with the byes. So, for your divisional round, let me find the wild card round, I have Green Bay and Dallas playing. Actually, no, Green Bay and Dallas. Oh, man, I fucked that up. Green Bay and Dallas can't play because they have their... Oh, fuck that up. Shit. Can't have two conference winners play. All right. So, I'm going to have to change this over to... Yeah, why the fuck did I do that? I had the two wild cards playing each other. Idiot. All right. So, by process of elimination and my numbering of things, which I totally ignored when I made this... we're having Green Bay playing the Rams and New Orleans playing Dallas. There we go. That's what it should have been. And I totally ignored the way I had them numbered 1 through 6. Idiot. Fuck. All right. Green Bay. Now seeing what they think about this. Green Bay is going over the Rams. And as far as New Orleans and Dallas, look for the New Orleans Saints to go over the Dallas Cowboys, which actually doesn't alter the way I had things picked for the next round. So, all right. So, we have Green Bay over the Rams, New Orleans over Dallas. So, in the divisional round, we have Atlanta at Green Bay and New Orleans at the 49ers. Yeah, see, I actually worked out the same way. That's what I had for the divisionals. If you don't believe me, it says it right there. See, that's the divisionals. Okay, it can't be my handwriting. Atlanta at Green Bay, Green Bay at Atlanta, New Orleans at the 49ers. Look for... Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. Let's see. You going to beat the Falcons? No, you're not. Falcons are going on to the conference championship. Who are they going to face? It's either New Orleans or that Kyle Kaepernick. That Kaepernick kid. Sounds like an Irish name, even though he doesn't look very Irish. Man, this is a tough one. But I have the Falcons versus those New Orleans Saints, which are now motivated after Bountygate. Dave the Useless also has the Saints pretty high up on his list due to Bountygate resurrection. Anyways, so Atlanta and New Orleans, we had the Broncos and Texans in the AFC. Boy. God, is Matty Ice or Drew Brees? Matty Ice or Drew Brees? Drew Brees going back to the Super Bowl, possibly winning the second Super Bowl of his career? Or do we have Matty Ice finally making the Super Bowl? We have Matty Ice finally making the Super Bowl and facing Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl, in the frozen tundra of East Rutherford, New Jersey, because they're holding the Super Bowl in a place where it snows. You idiots! Anyway. Your 2013, well, it's going to be 2014 by the time the Super Bowl happens, and I forget which number it is. Your Super Bowl champion is going to be... I'll tell you in a later video. Have a great day, guys. I'm just kidding. It's the Denver Broncos. Congratulations, Peyton. I still hate you, and you still suck in the postseason. That is all.